Hey folks, welcome back. This is Benjamin Jellyman, the Shadow Empire advisor, and I've been sent another game save. This is going to be an interesting one. I've only just loaded it up, so I haven't had a chance to look at it before I started recording, which I was advised to do by the gentleman that sent it to me. He didn't actually. I don't actually know who it is that sent me this. This was his name is Ian, so I'll just call him Ian. And yeah, Ian said, yeah, this is going to be a difficult one for you to look at, and I think it's wow, what is going on here? Okay, let's just turn off the local pickup range thing. Oh, okay. So we got the first thing I noticed is we've got a lot of there's a lot of ruins. Okay, like lots and lots of ruins. Let's see if we can find where his capital is. Okay, this is the regular capital zone at New Throne. And first things first, have a look at the profile. Okay, so he's quite high in autocracy, not much meritocracy or democracy. He's in enforcement. Looks like he's had some commerce as well, and really high in fist. Okay, I approve of these profiles. We're in a crisis of passion. That's a good one. Let's just have a look at the tech tree. Okay, yeah. First of all, I mean, not very far down in the tech tree. We are on round number 34, so I'm guessing this is a. Yeah, this could be a slow tech game. I don't know. It depends. Maybe not, because he's actually got university and solar energy. So we got the big gotcha out of the way. He's got the power techs. That's a good one. And radiation filters. Currently going for side skirts. Okay, interesting. Got lots of motorbikes up. So these are actually independent motorbike regiments. Got a lot of troops, and it looks like he needs them. Let's just have a look at the strategic map. So go to regimes. This is Ian's territory here, in this kind of wiggly S shape, and down here we've got Pepito Reich. This is a theocratic major regime. Okay, so we're already at war with one major. We've got, is that the same one? No, and then we've got Brighthort domain on the north. So we've got another war here. That's another theocratic regime. They're really, really hard to deal with. Then we got some raiders on the west. And we've got another theocratic regime here on the north. Ferryvale State. Okay. This looks interesting. You've got a lot of wars on. Okay. Interesting. So it looks like we're actually fighting for Ferrydale. Now this war, if that's his only zone, which I don't know if it is, because we don't have a lot of reconnaissance here. Yeah, I've only got 2 reconnaissance, look. So, you know, we could get him to... we might be able to push him back from Ferryvale here. Lots of motorbikes. This is an interesting choice. I don't think motorbikes are going to be very good in ruins at all. They're going to get a big penalty. Okay. That said, motorbikes count as infantry in combat, so they're not going to be so good for moving. I don't think they count as motorized, do they? Motorbikes. I think they just count as infantry, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah, they should be fine in these ruins. It's the tanks that are going to struggle. All right, let's have a look at the planet. Okay, so it's like a Seaward class planet. Yeah, we've got maritime trading houses, so we're playing on Oceania. Agricultural crop details looks fine. Spin's quite slowish. Gravity's kind of low, so maybe there'll be some aircraft in this game. Yeah, Earth comparable atmosphere. It's quite a cold planet. Cloud forests. Yeah, there was a high population before with lots of zones. And okay, so we've got a bit of a mix of survivors. We've got 30% farmers, 50% scavengers. We've got some hunters and some a very few amount of raiders. I think he's probably got the AI setting on, so we've got the more dangerous AI regimes. Let's have a look at the models, because we're in a war. What you want to look at is just to see what your models are like. Infantry models are pretty good by the looks of it. Yeah, look at this base design on this one. This is really good. He's got some. This is built up really nicely. So this is, look, he started out with a decent design here. So he actually had the. I don't know if this is the original. I'm assuming so because. Okay, yeah, he's obsoleted those. Let's just remove the. Actually, I'll keep them all in. Machine gun isn't that good. Okay, he's not actually upgraded his machine guns. It's kind of an interesting choice. Perhaps someone like me who doesn't value them quite as much as I used to. That's not a bad machine gun model though. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. We could level this up. We've got the oxen trucks. Yeah, I'm not worried about them. They're not really important. So the buggies, yeah, okay, the buggy's got a weak engine, but everything else is all right. That's not too bad. And then we've got artillery guns. Yeah, it looks like he re-rolled this one because it was kind of a bit of a rough design, and then he got something that was worse. You know, yeah, this is worse, I'd say. But that was kind of unlucky. We've got the motorbike. Yeah, the motorbike's pretty good. That's what he's using by the looks of it. And then we've got anti-tank gun snipers too. Yeah, that's a decent design. All right. So, yeah, model design is okay. It's pretty good, in fact. So this is going to be a map where you're going to be fighting in lots of, yeah, wow, look at this, lots of rough terrain. So you're going to be wanting to use a lot of infantry. Got mountains here. So Pepoto Reich, we've got Klein, we've got Simonis. To see if we can just check to see what, yeah, Simonis and Klein Cow, sorry. Okay, so we can see 2 zones there. Yeah, there's a lot of troops. Wow, we've been cut off here as well. Looks like these guys are moving in pretty quick. This is a bit of a precarious situation, to say the least, because look, we've got Brighthorn Domain on the north, and we are holding on by the skin of our teeth here, by the looks of it. He's got he's got siege infantry battalions. Those are slug throwers. These guys got machine guns and envirosuits. 150mm howitzer guns. That's pretty fierce. So they're going to do a lot of damage. Okay. Slave colony to roll. I like this. This is cool. He's got kind of a... Yeah, he's really got into the autocracy fist kind of side of the game. Right, this is a war that looks like it can possibly be won, although there is a lot of troops here. Now... Yeah, they're fighting. These guys are fighting with slug throwers still. These guys are fighting with slug throwers. So this looks like a war that can be won. Yeah, these are just using 5mm steel plating on the buggy, so this is not too scary either. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So Ian was like, "Oh, I'd be interested. You know, maybe you can play your way out of this one." I don't know if I've got time to play it, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang on to it because this actually looks like an interesting puzzle for somebody who might want to, you know, test their skills and maybe play it at a later date. But this is really, really cool. This is really, really cool. Pepoto are also pushing down in this direction into the southwest here. So here's the thing, right? Your logistics have got to be really good in order to be able to fight a war this far away from your SHQ. Okay, we've got a bit of road spaghetti here. So here, right, the pool system doesn't. I mean, it's not providing it's using all of its providing it's supplying everybody. I'm not going to complain too much, right? But yeah, I would probably find a way to cut off some of these roads. This is just one, you know, just partly a neatness thing as anything else, but it also can help with efficiency. Just, you know, you don't need all these roads going in all these directions. I see what's happened here. Either the AI has been building roads, or Ian here has been building roads, just kind of as the ebb and flow of the war has pushed the borders back. But yeah, you can kind of like, if you really want to micromanage this stuff, you can kind of turn off these roads just so that we're not wasting roads. Hold on a minute. Look. I think next term we're going to have a lot less. Where's that? Okay. This might be why. We were not getting enough workers into the truck stations, and in fact it looks like, yeah, we're not getting much production out of them. Look, 38%. So the slave colony to row is, this one is difficult because well, we've got problems here. Basically, we've not got enough workers. In slave colony Pollux, again, we've not got enough workers, so everything's working on, yeah, right. Okay, so this is one of the problems we've got here. I think that these have been captured, I guess. Yeah, this is a minor city that was captured. This is the capital. So this will be where the SHQ is, I'm guessing. Yeah, here's the SHQ. Look. The SHQ is in danger already at the start of this game. So I think that you've got to figure out how you're going to approach this. We have quite a lot of political points. We've got some cash. Let's just have a look at the overview of the Empire dashboard. Wow, you're hemorrhaging money. So worker support's low, soldier support's even lower. This is a dire situation. This is a dire situation. Now, yeah, I'm getting the impression that this is one that has been sent to me, you know, as a kind of like save my campaign kind of thing. And now whether this has been set up deliberately like this, or whether, you know, this is just a consequence of normal play, I'm not sure. I think having two wars closing in on, you know, the borders of two wars closing in on your SHQ like this is very, very drastic. So what can we do? I think you've got to pick and choose here. You've got to pick what is important. Do you want to win your game, or do you want to lose it? And you like fighting out. You've got these troops here, or they're expanding out in this way. We've got the Union of Matalum here, Leader's Refuge. Oh, sorry, Union of Matalum is the name of the player's faction. Sorry, but we've got Leader's Refuge here. This is a village, so it looks like he's actually started his own zone here. Why would this be? Is there any assets around here? Yeah, there's loads of stuff. He's put loads of stuff up. Okay. Alright, so first things first. When you're fighting wars that are this far away from your SHQ, and you've got borders closing in on your supply routes, you're asking for trouble, okay? If I was you, I think you're gonna have to peace out of one of these wars somehow. But how do you do that when you're rating, you know, when this is so low? Plus you've got no money. First job, I think, is to... So here's how I would approach looking at this game. On the strategic level, you've got to try to figure out what you can realistically achieve. Let's have a look at the victory page, because the victory overview is really important. So you're actually winning the game. Victory score 11.4. You got most of the populace. I think what you've got to do is you're going to have to give up some ground and find somewhere where you can fight, right? So you've got this minor regime here. How did these guys get out? How did this first independent recon battalion get out this far? Look, these have run out of fuel. So, yeah, it's a shame because you can almost take this, but you can't hold it. You're not going to be able to hold this, right? So here's what I would do. I would consider. You've got to defend your SHQ now, and you are in very, very defensible terrain. Obviously, the problem is that New Throne is getting danger. Oh, you got cults as well. Have they started killing all your population yet? No. So yeah, you've got to defend your SHQ or move it. And moving it is a ball ache. It's very, very difficult. You're not going to do it. So I think what you've got to do is form a very, very strong defensive line around your SHQ, and then you need to expand your. You know, you've got to win these. You've got to win one of these wars. So what I would do is I'd pick which is the strongest enemy. Which is the enemy that you can actually push back quickest, and focus on them. And you want to put a line up, like a double thick line, So you want a line here and a line here, and you are holding that ground. These guys aren't, like, if you hold the line here, they're not going to be able to get through. This is a nice little choke point anyway. So I would divert some forces. I would bring all these guys back now that you're going to get cut off. Because if these raiders come in here and cut you off, they're going to take this place, and then, yeah, you're done. This border is too large for you to hold. You've not really got the resources to be able to hold all this. And you know, taking... Let's see if you've got some of this. So there are some stratagems that can help you. Let's have a look on units, HQs. Sorry. Yeah, because Autocracy gives you cards like pillage. So there are things that you can do in order. In fact, actually, is that a zone card? Pillage. Yeah, you've got pillage. Okay, so you can move in and take. So you can temporarily take credits. Or you can take credits from people by moving into a zone. So if you think you can take this, like, I don't know, if you can take this in one turn, I would take it, pillage it, and then move back, right? And then I would probably, I'd find a place. I'd get as many of these troops back as possible to try and defeat this one here, Pepoto Reich. They've got the biggest border with you, and they've got troops down here too. So you've got to basically, I don't think you've got enough troops really to put up a line and, you know, do the traditional World War I style crawl that you often see at this stage of Shadow Empire. I think what you've got to do is you've got to get enough troops down on this border to hold these ruins, okay? So they're not getting any closer, you know, at least around here. You do need to have a brigade. You're using a lot of independence as well. This is another thing I've noticed, like lots and lots of independence. Now, if you've got a good SHQ leader, this can work. Yeah, he's not bad, but he's not good. I mean, he's got a reasonable command rating. He's not bad. But he doesn't have a whole lot of war skills. You might want, at this, I mean, I don't know, at this point of the war, I think it's going to be difficult for you to change him. I probably would have changed him earlier to somebody with, you know, who's going to learn skills quicker. Yeah, so I think here's how I would approach at least the strategic, you know, the overall strategy side of this. I would try to take this zone very fast. I'd then pillage it, and then I would move back. And if you can't take it in one or two turns, don't bother. Okay, then move everyone. You want to move everyone back, and you want to see if you can form a little bit of a line here. But you might even have to give this one up. I would fight, basically I would do a fighting retreat. So once you pillage this, then you want to move your critical units back, so tanks, anything that's going to be, you know, really good in defense, and then you got to get them back, and you've got to put up a line against Pepoto Reich here. And I would probably, you know, you've got to defend your supply line, and then with whatever you've got left, I mean, if you take this, right, and this is their only zone, which is unlikely, but if this is their only zone, then you're probably fine, because what will happen is these guys you'll be able to just, they'll have no leadership, so you might be able to just kind of fight them off. But I think most likely, I would defeat them, take them out of the game, you know, or at least take this zone. I'd pillage the hell out of it, and then I'd basically retreat. And you want to form, you don't want to just move everything back. You want to be a fighting retreat, because if they do follow you up, then you've got to, you know, they're going to be one more enemy that's on your border. One thing you can do is you can look at the whatever relations that these guys have got with everyone else, right? So this is Ferrovale State. So if you look at Ferrovale, who are they at war with? All right, you don't really know, because you haven't really got much information on those guys. So first thing would be to get some more information on these. If they're at war with Ramanar territory, then you might find that they're as bothered about them as they are about you. So falling back, and you might be able to hold this area like that, you know, just kind of hold like that, and then those guys might go into here, or they might just try and press back on you, or they might just, you know, once you've taken this area, like Ferrovale, this is Ferrovale itself, you might find that taking this destroys their SHQ. Yeah, there's their SHQ, look. Alright, so they have got the first SHQ here. There's going to be a lot of troops in here, but it looks like you might be able to do it. This. You got 400 recon points. This is looking good. So maybe taking Ferrovale State, and you've got the choice to try to hold it or pillage it. I think I think I would probably just be tempted just to move all this stuff back, because the real threat is here by Papoto Reich, and they don't have a lot of stuff, but you've got to get enough troops back to defend it. And you can't raise any more troops, man, because you've got recruits, and you've got metal, and you've got but you don't have much industrial points. Your issue is money, and you've sold everything by the looks of it. So yeah, you're not going to be able to pay your troops. That's going to be the problem. I'm wondering if your troops are not getting paid here. Have a look. Cash flow. Yeah, your big wages, you say, is your soldiers, look, and their morale's already really poor. Stats, average morale. Yeah, your morale's really low. Look, it was relatively high. It was okay, but it's gone really low. I'm assuming because you've not been paying troops, or you've been losing battles. One or the other. So yeah, 43, 50. Oof. Is it because there's something wrong with this SHQ guy? Yeah, so your SHQ leader is also not very happy, because he likes democracy, government, and heart. So yeah, maybe play some, you might want to consider playing some cards on him, you don't even really have much. You could probably, give him a bonus payment or something, I don't know. But basically you've got to get his rating up, or get rid of him and get someone else in there who likes you more. And then try to get you're going to have to try to find some cash. What's your tax like? Tax rate. Income tax 30%. No, that's about right. Sales tax is high. Yeah, okay. So morale is going to be a problem. I think taking this will give you a morale boost, probably, because you'll get victory points for it. Maybe pillage it and then fall back. And then you've got to basically pick a war to win. I think you can hold these. They've got a lot of troops here, look, but you can probably hold them using you really want to use SHQs rather than just using independence. Yeah, using lots of independence like this is a bit of a reach. I think you need to get an SHQ up, and get some. Here you do want machine gun infantry. Like, machine gun infantry are going to save your life here. So, and you've got a reasonable model. You need to get model design going. Get a later model of machine gun infantry. Put some MG infantry up along with these guys. Now, one good thing about the motorbikes is they do get good recon. You've got really good recon. Look, these guys. Look, what I like. This is interesting. You've maxed out your recon. So when they're attacking you, they're probably not going to have the same recon on you. Okay, which is pretty interesting. So you're going to be able to get more attacks on them, and that's interesting. Like, you might even be able to ambush them depending on what their recon's like. They have got a fair few troops, but I think if you're careful, you can hold this line. Then you've got to somehow find out how to beat. I think beating these is going to be difficult with the amount of troops they've got. These have got less troops by the looks of it. And they've got a load of motorized troops, which oh, mind you, these are militia. Okay. Yeah, look at this. As these guys die, you're going to lose more morale as well. So yeah, this is a challenging situation. I think so that the video doesn't go on over long, I would put up a line of troops here and just try to find a point where you can push through with what you've got. But you're going to be struggling without OHQ, without proper professional troops, to be honest. Without the OHQ troops, you need to get some generals up. I would give this up immediately and fall back. This is. Yeah, you just got to fall back. You got to hold this line. You need to push Papoto Reich off your supply line here as these guys retreat, and bring everything back into the defense of your SHQ. Yeah, pillage this and bring it back. Do a fighting retreat if you have to, or just move back. Whatever you've got to do. You want to hold this though. Slave colony 2 row. So maybe bring up a some kind of defensive line here, just hold it with minimal troops and just try and get everything back here and try and push these guys back. And then you've then got to work on piecing one of them out, because I don't think you're going to win this war with with your finances in the state that they're in. So let's have a look. Foreign affairs. Yeah, you got a capability 1 leader in foreign affairs as well. Maybe there's going to have to be some kind of leadership reshuffle, which is always really bad at this stage of the game. It's never easy to do. Like, I do it quite a lot, and you'll see me suffer as a result. You have got some reasonable leaders. So you've got some reasonable leaders. I'm not going to go through them all because it's we've got cap 4 look in the reserve. Why? Why have you got cap 4s in reserve? Like, this dude wants to be like, put him, this guy, look, charisma 40, put him in your foreign affairs council, and then give it some funding, and then try to start raising the relations with these guys. Play an overture card, overture or whatever it's called. Play that card that basically raises, says that you want to peace out, and you're gonna have to fall back, turtle up around your SHQ, get your finances in order, and lots of motorbikes. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm trying to remember. Do motorbikes are they classed as foot troops? I think they are. Let me just remind myself. I think they are. I think they're technically classed as foot troops. Okay, they've got the move type wheel, but I think in combat they're a foot troop. So I mean, these aren't a bad choice. They're not a good choice. You got loads of them as well. Here's right. This is why you're paying so much troops. You got these massive. Is this a regiment? Or is it a battle group? "26 independent motorbike snipers." Okay, right. So you got motorbikes with anti-tank guns attached. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you've just got a lot of troops, and you don't need regiments at this stage of the game. What I would do, look, you've got a lot of troops. There's loads of them. I think probably what I would do is in the areas that you don't need these troops, where you don't need so many troops, split them up. Like, having a regiment is no use whatsoever. But if you've got a bunch of brigades, battalions that you can use to hold a line, that's loads more useful, in my opinion. So, maybe like turn by turn, break these down, send them back to the SHQ, and then reform them as smaller units. The thing is, you're so low on money. Yeah, this really is an interesting puzzle that you've presented me with, Ian. I like it. It's very, very, very cool. Yeah, you got to figure out what your priorities are, right? I mean, look, you've got independent bike regiments all just doing exploration or something up here, unless you were fighting a war up here too. So get these guys back. They don't need to be here. Maybe just leave a couple, just hanging on to Leader's Refuge. It does look like, I like that, Leader's Refuge. Is that where he goes on his holidays? Is this like his skiing resort? He's out. I mean, it's pretty cold. -17 might be a little bit chilly to sit on the balcony of your mountain resort with a, I don't know, whatever you drink in a mountain resort. Maybe some kind of tequila to warm you up. Mojito. But yeah, so I don't know, if this is important, then hold on to it. If not, then don't bother. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't worry about this. I would bring these guys back and try to push. You need to be pushing back in on this territory here to get them off your supply lines, and maybe try and threaten them from this way. Okay, because if you can threaten an encirclement, they will move back usually. The AI's got some. The AI is interesting, and it has changed in recent patches. So I might be talking about outdated information, but if you threaten the AI generally with an encirclement, it will tend to fall back. sometimes. It usually will tend to fall back and try to, you know, get out of the encirclement that it's seeing, if it can see it. You have to remember that the AI also, people complain about the AI. I know people complain about the fact that the game plays by different rules. You know, the AI plays by different rules, which is basically the same in every video game, by the way. There's very, very few video games where the AI plays by the same rules as the player. The only difference between Shadow Empire and other games is that Vic was honest about it. That's basically the only difference. But I know people really don't like the fact that the AI has, you know, a slightly different rule set. But it does play. It can't see everything on the map, right? It just have to use. It has to use recon. So if the AI has not got reconnaissance points and it can't see you coming in, then you can encircle it quite easily, right? So if you can get these fast units, are really, really good. You can get these motorbikes in, and you can threaten an encirclement. So this might be one way of, you know, but get all these guys back. These guys are in a bad position, right? They don't need to be here. Bring these guys back, and then start moving them in, and see if you can probe what he's got here. Try and get some spies in. Like, you need to get some spies into this zone here. You've got no spies. So, and spies have been nerfed, thank God. But they, you know, they do help. They don't, like, you know, they shouldn't be able to see all the enemy formations for you. That was just really unrealistic and ridiculous, and it kind of ruined the game a little bit. But Vixen, like, dropped the effectiveness of that back a little bit, which I'm really pleased about. But you still get some idea of formations, which is right. You know, you should have some idea of where stuff is. If he's got a whole line of troops, like if he's got a brigade of troops up here, for example, you're out of luck. But if you are able to get in, you might be able to get him to fall back, and that will give you enough time here to desperately get some troops just forming a line in these ruins. He's going to struggle to get you out of these ruins unless he's got very, very strong troops, which he hasn't. All right, so get some infantry into these ruins here, and hang on to them for dear life. You need some machine guns. You want machine gun infantry. Machine gun infantry. You want a machine gun infantry battalion here, a brigade here, and then you want to get, you know, some other stuff protecting it too. And then you want again a machine gun infantry brigade here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then maybe another one. And then start trying to probe around him, trying to get around him, and, you know, force him to spread his troops out. And then you got to hold the line while you finish doing whatever operation you're doing up here and get them back. You can't hold this. You can't hold it. And I don't think you might have to give up this one as well, which is a shame because this is a massive city. And you're going to need it for population. So yeah, use your whatever autocracy cards you can in order to get your danger down as fast as possible. And yeah, and then kind of just leave a small force here holding this, and hopefully these guys don't follow you, and hopefully the slavers don't come in. Yeah, you're not at war with these guys yet, so you want to try to, if you've got any stratagem cards, make them your friends. Slavers don't like being friends though. Sorry, they're not slavers, they're raiders, but they okay, those ones are at war. We've got two here. Sorry, we've got Ramenar territory and we've got Hicksfort. Okay, so these guys aren't immediately at war with you. These guys are. So yeah, this is going to be hard to hold, I think, depending on how many raiders you've got here. Again, you need to get more spies into all these territories. You've got good recon on your borders with these motorbikes, but you haven't got any spies, so you need to get spies in, and that will give you a bit of an indication of what it is that you're facing. And then, yeah, because you've got all these mobile units, there's nothing to stop you from, you know, sending some of these guys down just to probe what he's got in certain areas. So make use of these mobile forces that you've got. You know, these motorbikes are really, really fast and they've got good recon. That's what they're good at. They're also good in attack too. They're like they're like attacking infantry basically, but they're not very well armored. Yeah, they can only ever have a padded enviro suit if I remember right. So they quickly sort of lose their effectiveness when they're fighting against troops that are better equipped. But while you're fighting against enviro troop guys, you've got some advantage here. So you should be able to hold your SHQ against this lot. But you are going to have to re-divert a lot of your troops from the head and the tail of the snake, let's say. And yeah, cancel or leave, get everybody back to their posts, and get people down here. But the money is going to be a problem because you've got so many troops. You've got all these regiments. You've got so many troops. You're just not able to pay them. So profile is what we want. Yeah, you've got Esprit de Corps. Oh no, you've not got Esprit de Corps yet. In fact, you've not even got volunteerism. You've come down into Fist very, very far. I think I've seen what you've done. Have you gone to... did you just basically invade a neighbour? I think that's what you've done, haven't you? You've invaded a neighbour and you've got a massive Fist bonus. Yeah, I see what's happened here. You were in mind, and this is a game that you've been playing. You're like, I know what I'm going to do. I can tell. I can see what's happened here, and you've just suddenly gone, right. I'm gonna mess Ben up, right? And I'm just gonna invade a neighbour that I'm happy with, and I'm just gonna get a massive Fist. Yeah, I'm gonna get massive bonuses in Fist for doing that. I see what's happened, look, because you haven't got any of these. Look, you've just suddenly gone. I reckon that's what's happened. I think you must have declared war. I wonder if there's a way that we can figure out if that's what you've done. I don't know. Let's look at the history. Yeah, it looks like you've switched profiles very, very fast. That's why your leaders aren't very happy with you. And that's why you've got a big happiness penalty. Autocracy will somewhat mitigate that. But still. So, did you betray someone here, I wonder? That's the questions that are going through my head now. Yeah, look, I don't think these guys got a lot of troops. Oh, they're doing airstrikes on you. Looks like the AI is actually using some air forces on you too. Yeah, these are coming up quite quick. Look, but they're not very strong forces. I think if you had a wider front rather than using these big if you're using battalions rather than regiments, and spreading your troops out, I don't think they'd be able to get anywhere because they're just not strong enough, really. They're not good enough troops. So, yeah, this is a mistake, having big, have one regiment here and there where you're, like, having a regiment, for example, if you're attacking in, like, these guys, look, they're going to be great. You've got a lot of troops, and they're perfect for the job because they're concentrated, attacking lots and lots of troops. But they're not good for holding a line. You really need smaller formations. You need former units. Okay, so yeah, you really, what you want to do is these wanted to be broken down into battalion size formations and spread out over this line, because I know the AI sometimes attacks in these kind of human wave formations, and this is a valid tactic, by the way, but you've got to, the game is a game of territory control to some extent, and you've got to control your territory. So yeah, I think that it's one of those. This is going to be one of those that's going to be difficult for you to survive in the long term because of the amount of troops that you've recruited. And I think that as you stop paying your troops, you're going to be in big trouble. The reason why I was looking at the profile was like, if you go into Heart, you can get National Pride, and that gives you a morale bonus, and that's going to help. So yeah, maybe try and get into Heart. But yeah, this is a difficult battle for you to win. I think this is a difficult game for you to win. You've got to give up what you've got now and push and put everything you can into finding some way to win these two wars that are close to you. This one you can probably at least take. It looks like you can take this turn. We've got 400 recon points, and it's saying 23 odds. So yeah, I mean, I would try to get that, and then I would probably fall back and bring most of these troops back here to help. Now, if you can redeploy all these regiment-sized motorbike regiments you've got the ability to counter-strike him, because he's not fielding regiments. He's fielding a lot of militia, and these regular units that he's got aren't that good. So yeah, you've got the ability to be able to push back. You should be able to win this. I think you should be able to hold this line here and win this war, at least push him back to Klein. And then you might be able to force peace with him. Although Shadow Empire doesn't really work like that. Like they don't seem to want peace. The more they lose. I think that's something that it might make the game a little bit too easy, and it might be a game design choice. But from a survival perspective, you would have thought that they would be like, hey, we want peace now because you're getting close to our, let's peace out. And I think that maybe the game could be changed in that respect, so that their ability, their desire to go to peace might increase the closer that they get to being wiped out, so to speak. But also consider that when they are taken, then you're just enslaving them, really. You're bringing them into your regime. So maybe it's just not thematically worth it for them to kind of get to peace out with just a tiny empire. They might as well just be absorbed into yours. Okay, anyway, that's going to be that. I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and thanks for the game save, Ian. That was really, really interesting. This is definitely the most dire situation I've seen. I expect this took some real engineering. Thanks, folks. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will be back as Benjamin Jellyman in the next episode of Shadow Empire Advisor. Take care. See you later.